This is how my 3-step AI agent saves recruiters over 40 hours a week. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm dead serious, because this AI agent replaces every single boring part of your hiring funnel. Screening calls, gone. Resume scoring, automated. Ranking candidates, instant. And the best part? It runs 24/7. It's extremely cheap and infinitely faster than a human. No fatigue, no bias, no missed top talent. So to help you out in this video, I want to show you 3 things. First of all, a live demo of what the agent sounds like. Second, I want to show you the entire backend system so you can replicate something like this for your own recruiting business. Third, I want to give you a cost and time breakdown so you can decide if this is a smart move to make in 2025. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name's Liam. I help businesses all over the world to implement advanced AI phone agents into their companies. So if you'd like to explore how we can do something like what I'm about to show you for your business, just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I'm limiting the spots to 3 people per video, so I hope to see you in there, and now let's dive into the live demo. Alright, let's jump straight into the live demo. So a quick overview of what actually happens so you can understand the call in a second. So what happens is, basically, these are the steps that recruiters go through. You have a big list of leads that a company asks you to reactivate and see who's interested. I've made a previous video explaining exactly how an AI can call 20, 30, or 100,000 leads and see if they're interested or not. If you want to check that out, I'll link that up here. Now, this is the next step. Say you have now a list of maybe 5,000 leads that are interested, and this system will now pre-qualify them even further. So here we have a Google Sheet with some information. Just so you know, you can also integrate this with any other software you want. Google Sheets is just as a demo. And you'd have things like the name, phone number, job and position, company, and so on. But where it gets interesting is they give criteria of what they want the candidates to fulfill. They might give you some questions that you want them to, they want you to ask on this screening interview. And then I've also added the application of this specific applicant. Now, what the AI does is it will first of all personalize these questions based on the application to make sure that if it sees something interesting in here, it'll actually ask them about it on the call and not just ask a fixed set of questions. And then afterwards, it will evaluate the call based on this criteria and give each candidate a ranking. So without further ado, let's say one of the candidates just submitted their application. The AI will instantly call, and that will then look something like this. And just like that, we're going to get a call.
This is Mike. I saw your application for Nova Digital and had a few questions for you. Do you have 2 minutes?
Sure. Well, what's up, Mike?
Great. Thanks for taking the time, Anthony Parker. This is just a quick screening call to get to know you better and learn more about your experience. Let's start with this. 1, can you walk us through a campaign you led from strategy to execution that used A/B testing and resulted in notable performance improvement?
Yeah, we had this A/B Facebook testing campaign. It was one of the first things I did. I've been working this job for about 3.5 years now. And one of the first things that I did was run a Facebook leads campaign. And we split tested across multiple different products for an e-commerce store.
That sounds like a fantastic experience, Anthony Parker. Can you tell me more about the strategy you used and how you executed the campaign? What kind of results did you see?
We saw a 4 times ROI, and we just started off with lots of different creatives and then narrowed it down to the most best performing ones and then doubled down on those.
That's impressive. A 4-time ROI is a fantastic result. It sounds like you really know how to optimize campaigns effectively.
Thanks.
Can you also tell me You're welcome, Anthony Parker. Let's dive into another aspect of your experience. Can you tell us about a time you led a multi-channel campaign involving different product and sales teams and how you coordinated across those functions?
No, so I haven't done multiple sales teams yet, but I did do a very big campaign for an e-commerce store across like all the Meta platforms, Instagram, Facebook. What else is there? I think we also actually did TikTok, and then we retargeted them on YouTube as well. And that had a really great ROI. I think like a 25 times ROI.
That's fantastic, Anthony Parker. It sounds like you successfully managed a complex campaign across multiple channels. Coordinating and executing on that scale is no small feat. How about the use of digital marketing tools? Which ones do you rely on most? And how have platforms like Google Analytics or HubSpot helped you in your campaign?
I haven't used HubSpot or Google Analytics really. I've just been more of a social media guy, to be honest.
Understood. Got it, Anthoy Parker. It sounds like you've really focused on social media and delivering great results there. To wrap up, I have one more question. Share an example of how customer insights influenced your campaign strategy.
Oh, this is a good one. So basically, we had this campaign on Instagram this time. It was for I think it was a wellness product, like a soap or something. And we actually looked at the comments underneath our ads, and they were telling us that they just love it if it came in this fun packaging. So we added it, worked closely with the product team, and that led to a big improvement.
That's a great example, and it's wonderful to hear how you leveraged customer feedback to drive engagement and improve the campaign. It shows your ability to listen and adapt quickly. Thanks so much for sharing your experience, Anthoy Parker. So here's what happens next. We'll review your responses and get back to you within the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks again for your time.
Yeah, of course, no problem. Good. If you need anything else,
Thank you,
feel free to
Anthoy
reach
Parker.
out, and I'm here for anything else. I can send you some stuff if you need it.
Thank you, Anthoy Parker. I appreciate that. If we need any additional information, we'll reach out. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. And there we go. Interview done. And in a moment, this workflow here will activate. And there we go, just like that. Give our candidate a score. Let's see how we did. Okay, so if we look over here, we got a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually, seeing as we didn't have the 5 years experience or a bachelor's degree in marketing, but I guess the success that we've had is oftentimes even more important than a piece of paper for some companies. So of course you can customize all of this, and you can see how strictly the AI ranks it. But now, to get some deeper insights, let me show you exactly how to build one of these on the back end. All right, so how does this system actually work on the back end, and how does this save you so much time? So you will need two softwares for this, Make.com and Vappy. I'm going to walk you through each one of those so you can understand how one of these AI systems can help you save time. So we have two workflows here. The first one, which triggers as soon as a new application is submitted. So in this case, for example, as soon as a new row gets added to our Google Sheet. Now, once again, this can be hooked up to your individual platforms, your own softwares. It really doesn't matter. As you can see, Make.com has a variety of softwares you can integrate with. All right. So once somebody submits a new application, this AI module here, we've given it a prompt to look at, and this is once again, it pulls in the fields from this Google Sheet. So it will look at the questions that were predefined, and it'll also look at the application. And based on those, we've instructed it to return 7 questions to ask this applicant based on their application. So it's a bit more personalized. And next, what happens is we take those questions. This, by the way, we pull the phone number of the applicant from here and format it into the right format. We set this variable of the result of the questions just to make sure that it's formatted in the right way. And then what happens here is I have to blur out my API key over here, but there we go. We basically now ask Vappy, this is the HTTP module which connects to Vappy. We ask it, can you make this assistant over here use this phone number to call this phone number? And in here we have these 3 things: questions, name, and position. And these are things that get injected into our prompt of the assistant. So what happens here in Vappy, if you've never seen Vappy before, this won't be a step-by-step tutorial. I just want to give you an overview of how this works. But in a nutshell, you can basically set like a start message here, and this will basically be the first thing that the assistant says. And as you can see here, it automatically has this variable saying name. And that's what gets injected in here. Name is the name of the applicant, in this case, Anthony. Forgot the N. Anthoy Parker. Now, then we also inject the position. So it'll say, hey, Anthony, I saw that you applied for a marketing manager at Nova Digital. And next, we've instructed it. This is just a very basic role, a very basic prompt. You can actually use my own personal custom GPT that I use to write these prompts. I'll leave that in the resources section down below. No email opt-in, just use that one for free. And it'll help you structure the prompts in the right way. So basically, we've told it, ask questions step by step, dig deeper into the questions if you think they're relevant, and just a couple of examples, telling it how to pronounce certain details and so on. Once again, I won't go into every detail of the prompt, but what's important here is that we have this variable questions, and those are the questions that our AI module here has already newly generated. So we're asking fresh questions every time that actually refer to their application and aren't just super generic. Okay, so once it asks all of those questions, we have in the advanced section, if you scroll all the way down, we have this server URL, which we then ask it to send the server message of the end of call report. Just make sure that that is checked. That will then go to this next workflow. And here, as you can see, we have a webhook, which has the same server URL as we just have over here. And now what happens is the end of call report, meaning the entire transcript of this call, will get sent. And we're going to send that into this AI module over here. And as you can see here, we're using O4 Mini, which is a reasoning module. So it'll take a little bit longer to think, but therefore has a high accuracy of ranking these candidates. What we're also doing here is we're once again using this Google Sheet to pull in the criteria for this job, to pull in the application of the applicant, and then we're also sending in the transcript that I just showed you. So based on all those three things, we ask it to please output a value from 1 to 10 in this format. And that result here will then be pulled into, so we first of all, this is probably also important to showcase, to find the right row in the Google Sheet, we use the phone number of the customer, which they just called from. This is also in the end of call report. You can look at phone number, and then, no, that's the wrong one, customer number. We use that to search for the right row in the spreadsheet, because there's going to be more than one person in here in real life. And then based on that, we get the right row number. So it now knows, let's use that row number to update and add the results, which could be something like 7 out of 10 to the front of this sheet. All right, so in case you're wondering, you can actually download these Make.com workflows. I'm going to put a template link down below for you to download completely for free and import into your Make.com scenario. To import them, all you have to do is click on the 3 dots, import blueprint, choose a file, and it will look something like this, which you will double click, save, and then it will populate into your Make.com scenario. Now, once again, if you want more in-depth, tailored advice on how to set these up, you can also use the first link to book a free AI consultation call while you're down there. All right, now I want to get into the cost breakdown, so you can decide if this is a smart move to make in 2025. So, as you can see here, we have a lot of numbers. I'll walk you through one by one. The interesting thing to keep in mind is that the AI will cost around 11 cents per minute. And as you can see here in Vappy, this one's only 10 cents, for example, but they're getting cheaper and cheaper, but I did work with 11 cents for this calculation. Now, a human would cost a minimum of 30 cents per minute, assuming you're not paying them less than minimum wage. Now, over here, we've worked with an average of 7 minutes per call, like I showed you in the example, and we're reactivating 5,000 leads that we need to screen. And this AI is especially effective for larger companies who have a large volume of leads to reactivate. Now, we have a few different metrics. The cost per call for 7 minutes, the AI costs 77 cents and the human 3 times that. The total cost for the 5K leads would only be 3.8K for the AI and 16,000 for a human. Now, all of this is still, of course, this is a big ROI, but nonetheless, the really interesting thing is the hours that it takes, because a human would take 833 hours to make those 5,000 calls, or a third of a year, which means that you'd have to hire more people, which, costs a lot more. Now, the AI can do this almost within 1 hour, because the interesting thing here is that the AI, a human can do one call at once. An AI can actually do 1,000 calls at once. It's crazy. So we can literally activate this entire lead list in less than an hour. And it's not like the AI gets stressed either, right? It always sounds perfect, which means that it's nearly infinite scalability, right? And it's also 24/7 available, depending on if you're recruiting in different time zones as well. This is not an issue. So overall, the bonuses are it's extremely cost effective, 24/7 availability, 1,000 calls at once, which means that you save a massive amount of time and money, of course, while still having a I wouldn't say that the AI is necessarily better than a human, but with all this personalization and also the level of quality in the voice, this is a real substitute that companies are already using to reactivate this large number of potential leads. All right, so I hope you were able to get some value out of this video. It's a very interesting process, and there are a lot of different use cases for AI, but out of all of them, this is definitely one of my favorite because it's so black and white and clear how much value this provides. Once again, if you'd like to book a free AI consultation call, you can use that using the first link down below. And other than that, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I answer every single one. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.